Hey gentle folks, Wildman Willie here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. So, most of my content has been automotive, sightseeing, things like that, lots of fun. It's been said to me that I should be making content of just what I enjoy doing and see who likes to see that. So we're going to give that a try. Today is a let's build. I'm going to sit back and enjoy a nice pipe and build a model today. So, today we have a Bachmann brand, Plasticville, USA. This is what's known as the Union Station kit. So this is going to be a really nice train station for my O-scale layout. Plasticville, interesting name, right? So Bachmann makes it now. Bachmann's been making it for the last 20 or 30 years. It might have been Bachmann before that. In any event, Plasticville has been in production since 1946 or 7, if I understand correctly, and this model has not changed much since the day they created them. So, with Plasticville, this is designed to fit O-scale, as you'll see there, but it's all a bit of a dimensional compromise. So, Lionel Trains had one competitor in the late 40s that was going to be American Flyer. And they had the S-gauge size, which is just slightly smaller. So this building is technically S-gauge, if I understand that correctly. So 1 to 60, something like that. But the doors are 1 to 48. So dimensions, and they're off on everything O and O27 unless you spend big bucks. Part of the charm of the projects. Now again, with Plasticville, there are a variety of kits you can buy in the line, and other than subtle changes to accessories, different colors of plastics, and I think they did improve the materials at some point in the last 60 years. This model lineup has not changed much since the original. So these are designed to be snap together glueless kits. This is a new production kit. If it was one of the 1950s ones, then I would not be using any glue. But there's millions of these. I want it to stay together. So there's the whole kit in the sack. You can see that the Union Station, one change that's been made on this over the years, the clock used to be actually molded on. Now it's not. And somebody told me that the time will be different, that on older Plasticville stuff, it's going to tell you that it's 12:05, something like that, between the 12 and the 1, and it's perpetually almost 5 o'clock somewhere in Union Station. So, let's enjoy, let's relax for just a second and get this put together. Now again, these kits, they don't require glue, but definitely going to glue it. They're designed to be, as you can see, an O-scale layout is a large thing. If you were working with a kid's toy, something that was going to be put away, then part of the idea was to have it be where you could put it back in the box. So, we're not going to put this one back in the box. First things first, set everything out. And there are instructions in here. Now, for most Plasticville kits, you're really not going to need much in the way of instruction. But this is one of the more complicated ones. There's more pieces to this than the rest, and, don't want to cause problems. So, one thing I will say is, I'm definitely not above going over these instructions. I'm going to look at them for a minute and just identify my pieces, make sure everything is here. That's always a good thing to do when you're first starting a model kit. Also, I'll tell you, even if you're almost certain you know how something goes together, kind of put it together dry once so that, if there's going to be any issues with fit, you can figure that out before the super glue's on. Cyanoacrylate glue is not friendly for getting off anything. So, with this kind of styrene, at least it used to be styrene, you got one shot with that glue. So, just looking over it, let's make sure I got what I'm supposed to have. One roof, 4 walls, that's 3 walls. So roof section, These are for the station platform, I imagine. There's the back roof, the front roof, I guess. Small accessories. We're going to kind of set the small stuff to the side. I won't be needing it first, I don't think. We do have 4 walls. The platform pieces. More windows. Okay. Get these out of the way. Last thing I want to do is knock something off this table and go to chasing it mid-video. But we're going to try to do this with minimal jump cuts and editing, so you will get the problems as they happen. Just like it tells you, step 1, you put decals on if they come with them before you put it together. Second thing you do, we're going to check this parts list. So, sidewall, 2 sections, check. Front wall, 1, check. 8 small handrails. I certainly don't think I had 8 small handrails. Well, that's part number 8. Duh, there's one of them. Okay. So that's all there. Roof is there. It looks pretty good in here. So, let's put the main structure together dry. See what that looks like. So, stage 1 tells me to start with piece 1. Got some windows / doors. Very nice looking little pieces there. And as you can see, will this slide out? Snap together. So glue, really not necessary, but we're gonna make sure that we know how it goes and that everything is the way I want it before I glue anything. We also might get a little creative and teach you some basic customizations of such a bottle. So as you see, works so easy. You just take the piece. There really doesn't seem to be an up or a down with that. They made that nice and easy. Slip it in the back and click it. And that was going to hold the height of 1950s plastic manufacturing. So, if we wanted to be super creative here and make this just a little bit nicer looking model kit, open windows. You can see they're open. There's no glass there. Just happen to have some plastic for recycling. Somebody gave me a hot chocolate kit for Christmas. Came with this thing in the front after I removed the cardboard. So some little pieces of that glued on the back side of those windows will give us a realistic there's glass there effect. So I'll show you how quickly that works. And again, as this is not a vintage kit, I got no problem kit bashing it a little bit. Delicious. Loving the new Sherlock, by the way. Great piece. So, for the individual pieces that pop out, well, let's look at this. So it's a flat plane. I don't have to cut this out in detail for each one. I just need one piece that big by that big by that big to slip over that and glue to the back side. So, you don't even have to be terribly dexterous to do that. Simple pair of scissors. top edge is a good edge. Try to get away from any trash from the plastic. And again, this is just an extra step to give the model just that little touch of something's different about it than how they normally come without changing the character of it. But again, you don't have to. Model railroading can be expensive. You can fabricate your own buildings out of anything. It's a great medium to learn 3D printing. But you can also, you can make stuff out of trash. And it works great. Okay, so I want to cut that down so that it does not go in any of the grooves because this is a snap together kit. So, again, measure twice, cut once. Or don't measure at all and have fun. Yeah, that'll be great. Just thin out just a little sliver, a little more sliver. This is kind of the high side, I think. Just a tiny bit more. I'm going to cut a notch here and a notch here so that nothing interferes. Doesn't have to be perfect because this is the invisible side of the model, folks. Everything's just an illusion. Just like so much life, it's a facade. Alright. So that's pretty cool. Probably a good time to have just a little talk about super glue safety. Super glue is as safe as you make it. Try not to breathe the shit too much. Don't glue yourself to the table, or to the project, or to anything else. So from this stage of the game on, I just got to be careful what I touch. There's a little mark from that. That's too bad. Okay. The trick with super glue is don't hardly use any, and you've got the right amount. Harbor Freight brand super glue. No expense was spared to glue the plastic trash windows into the model kit here. So on the mold, there's little dots from where they made things. I'm just going to kind of use those as my guide there. And again, just a dot, man. We're not trying to hold anything together except gravity. Weighs nothing. There's no particular forces we're trying to deal with. So, alright, once it's nice and cleaned off. Yeah. Good enough. Alright, so now you got a few seconds to work with it once you put that stuff down, but that's where I want it. Now we're patient comes in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Alright. That still might have some work time left, but I like the way my edges sit and it's not going to interfere, and it's not going to interfere with that. So that's going to be good. Next I'm going to do the same thing to the back of these little windows. That'll require a little more precision in the cut, but not much. It's all rectangles and squares, guys. You're just making little windows. happy little windows. Okay. So we got 3 windows here. And you saw where I put the little drop of glue there to get it started. I'm reminding myself not to do this as much as telling y'all, but don't stick your hand in that shit. Alright, so same concept as before, but plastic, everything's all tight for me to be in shot. Now for this we can really cheat. Watch this trick. We're just gonna go ahead and do the gluing without doing any cutting. And then I'll cut out the result. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I probably don't want to go anywhere now. Same thing with this guy. Just drippity-drippity-doo. Drip there. The tying there, I'm almost not putting super glue there, and that's almost too much super glue. So, clicky, there's that one. Again, just to add a little touch, just to give it the edge over the average Plasticville model here. And got 2 more for the back door. Happy little dots glue. Push her down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She ought to hold. Yep. And you'll hear me use gender terms with inanimate objects. I try to get pronouns correct for things in general, or people in general, but plastic don't matter. You can call it whatever you want to. I probably talk to myself this much all the time, but with the camera on it, I seem a little less insane. Alright. Push that one down. As you see, model railroading, I don't know. I just feel like it's good for me in my head. I had stress today. Lots of stress today. Things didn't go the way I expected or needed them to go today at work, but that was earlier. This is a model. Nothing needs to happen. It happens because I want it to happen. Because I'm going to enjoy it happening. And if it doesn't happen, then okay. And that's exactly the way I was supposed to do it. So, if you're dealing with lots of stress right now, like we all are, and isolation and everything else going on at the moment, model railroading might not be your thing, but any goofy thing you like to do. I mean, it doesn't matter what other people think about it. It doesn't matter if it's productive, if it makes any damn sense at all. Who cares? If you find something that helps you center yourself, then get on it. Alright. Those are glowing up, and now I'll just cut them out of that. So that'll be a lot easier for the more complex shape. Whenever you're modeling like this, though, just remember to stare it down in the way that you're going to see it on the model. It doesn't matter what's going on that you can't see. Well, that must be an effective pipe pull. I seem to be losing my accoutrements. There it is. Alright, these are ready to cut. A lot easier than for me than trying to measure and get all scientific about it. Just use things as their own jig. It does need to be not proud, I guess, not sit higher up, so I'll take the time to trim things nicely with it out of that. That's the other thing I tell you, you can always cut out rough and adjust. So now we got a little window in that. To me, that adds just that extra little reflection that makes the whole little world seem more real here. So we're going to click it up in the model here. Just a dot of that across the top. And a little dot right here. Insert the window. Clip it in. There's that. So, Plasticville does not just have hollow open windows. It has nice reflective glass windows, like the more expensive ones. Alright, so we'll just repeat that process a few more times. Let's cut this one out rough. Get a little quicker with things now that I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's not a race. Perfection isn't really a thing. You get bored, if like I'm over it, I'm frustrated, or the minute something feels tedious about your hobby, that means it's time to go watch TV, is what that means. Whatever feels like work, whatever feels irritating, that ain't really a hobby no more now, is it? Alright. Got all these things cut out now. Cutty cut, cut. Cut these things out. It's just okay. Alright. Again, that's not the part that people can see, so that little waver in it, I don't want to pull it back apart. So just put a little drop right there, kind of tack it for where it's trying to lump up. Now, if you get the super glue on your fingers and then go to touching the model, then you're going to be permanently identifying yourself as part of your Plasticville kit here. Talk about some latent fingerprints. They go be on good. So, alright. We is going to put a little drop at the top. Another drop at the bottom. And stick that in there. Clickety, click, click. There we go. Rinse, repeat. As you can see, Plasticville, definitely not complex. The little Lionel kit that y'all may have seen some still pictures of for the woodshed, although much smaller, a lot more going on to assemble that. There's no such thing as click together with it. You gotta hold your breath to make them glue right, which the challenge is part of the fun. On those, again, all your O-scale stuff, unless you're buying the really expensive versions of things, it's going to be out of scale a little bit as to say what it is. It's a toy. It's a model. It's a serious model, but it's a freaking toy to play with too. I the whole in-scale thing. I've done HO before. I enjoy all model railroading, but HO lets you actually have fun, not feel like you're in a china shop. So okay, folks, there's some windows in that. Looks like glass. I mean, it just gives it that little bit of a sheen that just tells you it's not straight open. So we're going to set that to the side. Move on to the back panel. Now, this is the ticket window, I think. I think I want to leave these bars open. That's what we'll do. And if I change my mind, then I'll change my mind. That's the great part about it. When you're doing whatever you do with your hobby, unlike so many other things in life, you're allowed to change your mind. And the consequences of that are nothing to be weighed or measured. You're just allowed to do it. And that can feel pretty good. You feel like you can just go ahead and do what you want to do. That's you, the boss. And, at least in the little world of whatever you're messing with, you're in control. Maybe nothing else in your life. Very few of us are in control of much. Low-scale model railroading as a hobby has lost most of its popularity, let's face it. At the time they invented these things, the train was, well, it was modern, current technology that people associated with on the daily, and now it's a time capsule to 1950 here, so a lot of your folks who are into it are a lot older, but with Arduinos and things like that, I just see it as a base for home robotics and stuff. I mean, you know, you want to make something move around, well, alright folks, had to reload the camera and the pipe there, so got the back glued together, got my windows in there. I didn't put any glass in these parts so it would look open and give it kind of a difference, because that's how I feel about it. So that's cool. Moving on to these side pieces. That is the inside, yes. Yes, that is correct. Inset, so that's going to be real easy. Just cut a random slice greater than. That precision manufacturing. You know, I hear a lot of people tell me, oh, I don't know if I have the patience or the skills to mess with the little tiny stuff. And it's like, what y'all think is perfect is cut out like that before I glue it on. Da-dot. Now, you can put the glue wherever you want, but the little mold marks on the plastic have usually represent the high side. Usually. So it's going to be sticking up there. So that gives me an ideal anchor point. Alright, that's more than enough. Oh look, that's awesome. I found the patent date on it. I'll have to show y'all that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. So y'all see that? That right there says that the patent date on that, and you can pause it here if you want to read it, is June 17th of 1952. So there's that one more, and then the added detailing portion is pretty well complete. We'll be assembling the model, and after that we'll get the train going for a minute. We got the new LED lighting in. There's a lot left to do on the model train. Okay, it ain't done. This is how we get there. Anyway, no more excuses. won't be too long until y'all see how it comes out. Okay. So you know what? That's way too much again, but it don't matter. It just needs to be where it doesn't stick out over the sides or get in any of the grooves where anything else is going to go. So, nipper. Clickety clickety, whatever makes it easy. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So with this being patented in the 50s, I wonder how many kids of all ages, we'll call it, have done exactly what I'm doing now. That's a good thought to have in your head while you do this. Next step is to assemble the 4 walls and glue them, and then we get to sticking this on the base. It's gonna be a great train station. Plasticville. Item 45976. While you're on it, what's the train station in your town look like? America had some grand palaces of rail. Most of them have been torn down. There's still a couple left. But deep in the center of your small town somewhere is likely a small but cool as hell train station. You should go check it out sometime. There's Amtrak service there. You might find it's an ideal way to visit a city close to you and not have to worry about an Uber or a designated driver. Just saying. All right. Maximum creativity. Okay, so just like the kit says, you got little tabs, and it just snaps together. And they're like, hey, there's a gap. There's supposed to be. All will be clear soon. We're going to go ahead and get some glue on them tabs. This will never come apart again. Don't overglue it. Any at all is more than it says to use. Good tight bond, hold it the way you want it. Get pretty true. Got some crap on it already. We've covered that though. Alright, on to the next side wall. Go ahead and dollop will do it. Dobby dob dollop. Yeah, that's really too much, but however you'd like to do it. And a lot of people will use wood glue for this. And catch-22, wood glue might leave you with a big crunchy blob of yellow on the outside. As I'll show you with my other model, the cyanide gas, I guess it is, and the cyanoacrylate glue can definitely discolor plastics and leave a white hazy sheen on them. So it is best if you're going to glue a model, especially if it's new old stock stuff. Well, this is recent manufacture here, but if it's as old as it looks, you very well be doing good for yourself to put a dab of glue on something where you can't see it and just see how the plastic reacts an hour or two before you actually put your model together. It's just no fun to find out that it's going to make it smoke. Okay, so well, that couldn't be easier, folks. Just push that in. All right, starting to come together. So, according to the instructions, step 1 of the instructions is complete. On to step 2. It says to find my base here. Okay, found out. And this is the rail platform the trains are going to come up against. So let's elevate it a little bit. And that works just like that. So droppity drop. And we'll put a droppy there. And a droppy there ought to touch something. Hopefully that was smart. If not, I'll tell you all about how dumb it was. Alright. So now that doesn't really touch there. That was not the correct place to add glue. If you want to add more glue, right across the front. That was the huckleberry right there. Because these sides, they don't come all the way into contact, but that does all the way across. Cool. Now I get my handrails. Got a big set, little set. One's got 3 and one's got 4, so it ought not be too hard to figure out which one goes where. So we're gonna start with the big one. Goes like that, yes. Accessibility. Even in the 1950s, they made that accessible. I like it. That's the way everything ought to be from the get-go, without exception. Let's plug this in. Coop. And now they were one. Let's do something just about like that. Now this bottom one's pretty close to the table, so I'm not going to glue that. I'm going to glue this and this, and hell, you'd have to break it to make it come off anyway. So, because that was an opportunity to glue this model to this table, which that I like this model and all, but I don't think the center of my table is where it needs to stay forever. Alright, we is almost done with this. That is the end of stage 2. On stage 3 is roofs and steps. Okay. So, shows me this piece. Says that's this side. You know, that seems like it could be accurate, yes. And I'm just going to find where it touches and apply glue there. Glue. Glue. More than enough. Definitely plenty. Alright, sure, look at that closer. That just goes in there. Just goes where it's at. See, folks, mistakes happen. I'm not even going to edit that out. I'm just going to leave my dumbness in there. Yeah, that's where it goes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, that's seriously overglued. So, while that sits, I know what I could do. There it is right there. All right. Main roof section, again, they just made these kits smart because they wanted fast to put together and take apart. It don't matter which way you put it, folks. It will just go. It just blop. Will drop in that hole. So, I see the ledges it's going to sit on. And we're going to glue them up, do them up rawhide. That is glued real good. There's that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, one, done. Okay. Front steps, which are actually, well, we haven't made all the decisions about how this is going to place together with this model. This is going to be a centerpiece, as it is the biggest station that's going to be on the layout. I'm just going to glue that on them pins on the inside. Pull a little strip. Zoop, zoop, zoop. I don't know how well that got in frame, but what I do is I don't necessarily look for a hole to put the glue in. I look for where the plastic comes together and put my cement there. And preferably I put my cement where you can't see it unless you're holding the bottle like this, which it's real wet though. It's way more than I need to use. Which is just wasteful. The tiniest drop of this in between the surfaces is enough to hold it. But that's certainly enough to hold it. Okay, we've got a roof awning here. Alright, now this time I am going to butter these tab edges. Butter them up with the glue. And just after World War II, there was definitely a demand for kid toys as they went kaboom kaboom, right? The war had also increased plastic manufacturing capabilities for weapons. And then the technology required to make something like this. And before that, plastics evolved during World War II. And they continue to evolve into what will inevitably destroy us all, or part of it in the end. Alright. I want this to sit a certain way, so I'm just going to hit it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This kit is nearly complete, folks. We've got just a few more pieces to put together here. Then we'll see how it looks on the layout. Alright. Again, they make this nearly foolproof. So that's how them's go. And them's also go like that. That's how I'm going to glue it on the base first. Okay. So, legs point this way, so like that it ways. Oh yeah. And these, be careful where these go. They do not, so. I'm gonna bead down the legs. Nine, 8, 7, 6. And last piece to install, folks. Here we go. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Should be pretty well set. Not really. Not really. So let's flip it over and give it a little more action. Yeah, like that. Little slide that there, little slide right there. Like that. Yeah, come on. While that's setting up, we have completed the assembly of that model, folks. Let's kind of arrange it on the table here and give you a better idea of what it's supposed to look like. This is the street view of the train station. A good long platform. Very cool, very cool. Looks like I'm ready to take a trip now. You know, if you wanted to on your layout, and this is correct for more train stations that I've seen than not, I think. You can have the train station at one end, the platform just continues on. You got multiple tracks. You can run platforms between those tracks like that. Or if they're spread out more far, you can have a central island. You know, so it allows for fun. Now, here's the trackside view. Very cool. So, looks like a great place to leave and arrive in Plasticville. On my layout, we're going to install this in a corner. And already I can tell it's a little bigger than I thought it was. So, it's going to be interesting to put this in here. It's going to be on the inside of the corner, I think. Unless it don't fit. If it don't fit, I have to figure it out. But anywho, that's fun too. I think it's going to end up setting a lot more like that on my layout, which again is technically bogus, but looks good to me. Well, anyway, folks, there it is. There is the Plasticville Union Station assembled, and just kind of rotate it and make cringy noises for you. Yepper. And next I'll try to cram it into the space on the layout that I don't think it's going to fit in now. Alright, we'll see you in a second.
Well, folks, that was pretty cool. Here you have it, Plasticville Union Station. I feel like it works right at home on my layout here, and hope you enjoyed the ride. Come back and see us again now.